Hello you guys, welcome to my channel All Things Militia, where I discuss a lot about what's going on in the political world and also topics that pertain to everyday life. Thank you to all of my subscribers for your support. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you see a video that you like, give your girl a thumbs up. Leave your comment down below because I want to get your thoughts on what I'm discussing. Share the video, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. You can do all those things, and don't forget to subscribe. So I'm coming on here today, you guys, to talk about The View, that bought and paid for liberal talk show that spends a lot of time talking against President Trump and Maga, while at the same time supporting the likes of characters like Hillary Clinton. I just want to get into this real quick because if you have been following political news, you know that there was a former MAGA supporter, Congresswoman by the name of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who President Trump calls Marjorie Traitor Greene, who, dropped out of the race. She resigned reportedly because President Trump pulled back his endorsement of her. And, she was once a very strong supporter of him and his movement, and after she decided to resign, she turned against Trump and went on shows like The View to talk about it. And so you have The View that is talking about how should Democrats embrace former MAGA supporters. Let's get into it.
But it seems to me that they are seeing the emergency that we're in right now with Trump in the White House. Every day he becomes more erratic. He's starting to say crazy things. Every day it's crazier and crazier. And so I think that they are beginning to see that. And, I always will welcome, you've seen the light, come right into my tent. There's a lot of room for the never-Trumpers and the non-Trumpers. So maybe that's...
There's a lot of room for the never-Trumpers and the, what did she say?
I love when someone...
Maybe that's what it's going to be.
I love when someone sees the light on it.
Let me get that back a little bit more.
You've seen the light, come right into my tent. There's a lot of room for the never-Trumpers and the non-Trumpers. So maybe that's what it's going to be.
So that's pretty much what it's all about. Anyone that's against Trump is welcomed by this party, this communist criminal enterprise party, and their supporters. And you guys, when I say that, I'm instantly thinking about a house divided against itself cannot stand. And so it's like, is this being done intentionally? Because there used to be a point in time, and I had a discussion with someone earlier today that said there used to be a point in time where people could disagree and still go out to dinner. But now people are being disassociated by their family members. I mean, people are being killed, people are being targeted, all because of their political beliefs. And I'm just thinking, is this being done, intentionally? Because the goal is to see America destroyed, honestly. And if it happens, it's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But we don't want a country that we are a part of, to be destroyed, at least not while we're, a part of it. But it's just interesting, their take.
The light on an issue.
And let me just switch over to Sunny, the one that's always cloudy, and hear what she has to say. Joy says she welcomes anyone that's just anti-Trump into her fold.
Go amongst her people and convince her people.
That's what she did.
I'm okay with that, but I'm not
Jones and all those folks.
But
those
she's now
are
saying
people.
she's now saying she's going to become an independent. She thinks she wants to lead the Republican Party. I think she should.
I don't care what she's going to do. I want her to tell people that what they did did not work out the way they thought it was, as they had been told it wasn't going to work out. And now that she has seen the light, she needs to tell the people that she carries along.
Correct.
Yes.
She needs.
First of all, it didn't work out like we thought it was going to work out. This is President Trump's second year of his second term. So we have not even reached the halfway mark. Okay, these people were already critical of him from the very beginning. When he first came into office, within the first month of him being in office, talking about how things were unaffordable when we had 4 years of a corrupt senile president that was pretty much trying to destroy America. Open up the border, let everybody in, flying them people in the middle of the night, putting them up in luxury hotels and providing them with housing and cell phones and stuff at our expense. Okay? Close down the Keystone Pipeline. I've said these things a number of times, you guys, but it's just interesting how they didn't address that. But it's just all anti-Trump. Anything that's anti-Trump is what these people are for. And it's crazy that they would rather see this country destroyed than to allow this man to complete his term. Now, if we made it through a corrupt, senile president for 4 years, I'm sure we can make it through President Trump. Okay?
That, but in terms of welcoming her with open arms like Joy wants to do and give a big bear hug,
I'm not going to do that with her.
I don't know. I just think that if you voted for Donald Trump 3 times, if you voted for him this last election, when we told you what was going to happen, Project 2025, 53% of those initiatives
Oh, girl,
have been...
shut up. Shut up. So we heard, if you've been following political news, about Agenda 2030. Okay, that was out there well before they created a Project 2025. And Agenda 2030 is pretty much on stating that you will own nothing and be happy, where they're trying to make the world come under a one government, have a one world government. Okay, and it's just interesting how these people keep all these lies and divisive rhetorics going and didn't have anything to say about the former corrupt senile president, who's a known racist. Now you're trying to say how things are going so bad under Trump, but did you forget about how that border was left wide open? Did you forget about how we became energy dependent? Did you forget about how he closed down the Keystone Pipeline? Did you forget about the horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan? Did you forget about how he, disregarded the military members when he went to the memorial service and checked his watch like, how long is this going to last? Did you forget about how sleepy he was? Did you forget about how he had to be led off the stage, couldn't find his way off the stage, couldn't even complete sentences? Did you forget about all of that? And you have so much to say about Trump? Give me these people. I'm telling you, these people are bought and paid for. There's no way in the hell that you can be this ignorant, okay, unless you're getting some form of kickback for it.
This country is on fire. We are in trouble. People are being killed in the streets. People are unhoused. People can't afford anything.
You need someone like her.
Yeah, you need her, but you don't need to welcome her. I'm sorry. It is unforgivable.
I genuinely see both of your perspectives.
Unforgivable, says the self-righteous Sonny, who's married to a man that has his own legal issues going on. Yeah, the nerve of these people. The nerve of these, talking about affordability, when almost immediately after Biden was installed, the price of everything shot up. People's rent went up astronomically. Groceries went up, everything went up. And they didn't have anything to say. Not to, the extent that they're saying it now that President Trump is back in office. Bought and paid for. And it reminds me for her to say that it's unforgivable, if we voted for Trump, like she's some form of a righteous standard. It reminds me of this crook here, what she had to say about Trump supporters.
To just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
And then she wonders why she lost. Among, this is one reason, but among many other reasons. She wonders why she lost. You insult. Tens of millions of people voted for Trump. And you're insulting voters because they are not for you. And then you wonder why you lost.
The racist, sexist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that.
Well, you can say that they're racist, homophobic, xenophobic, all the stuff that you all actually are. But let me add some more things that you are. You're anti-Christ, okay? You're anti-America, okay? I mean, it's interesting how, and then she was even on The View, and The View embraced her, never questioned her about her 33,000 emails that she deleted after receiving a congressional subpoena, deleting evidence, because, she just made a mistake. Didn't question her about our service members in Benghazi that she ignored after they sent her 600 emails pleading for their lives and were unalived. Didn't question her about any of those things. But allow her to come on and have her little spiel, her anti-Trump spiel. I'm telling you, these people are all in bed together. They're all in cahoots. And the nerve of her to call somebody a basket of deplorables with the record that she has. At any rate, moving on and along, you guys. This is another instance of this wildebeest calling for the deprogramming of Maga, the Maga cult. They like to call us a cult, but yet they have more cult-like characteristics. A cult is you either agree with us, you come into our fold, or you get cast out. And this is pretty much what they have demonstrated from the beginning. Anybody that is for Trump, stay over there. You got black people being told that they're not even black just because they supported MAGA. You can't come back. You're no longer welcome. Who are you? Who are you to tell a person that's for making America great again that they're no longer welcome? The nerve of these, they're not even hypocritical at this point. They're just straight up demonic.
Sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
And how do you do that? Because you said you have to defeat them by defeating their leader. Their leader is Donald Trump. Even you have said that you expect him to be the Republican nominee. How does this change at all?
At this point, I think, sadly, he will still likely be the nominee, and we have to defeat him.
Yep, and he was the nominee, and he was also elected in a landslide, so you failed. You failed when you ran against Obama, and you failed when you ran against Trump, and you still haven't been able to get over it. It didn't have anything to do with Trump. It was the American people that did not want you because they know how corrupt you have been pretty much your entire political life. And to call for deprogramming of a MAGA cult, you have lost whatever mind you had, you have lost. I don't even know if Satan will want you to come back to him at the end of your life. I can't be a judge. I'm not a judge. Only God knows where we all, will go after life. But the nerve of her, the nerve of a woman like this that has had a record like she has had to call for a deprogramming of both MAGA supporters because they're not in support of her. Never be president, and that's one. If President Trump never achieved anything, which he has achieved a lot, I would say one of his greatest accomplishments was keeping this witch out of the White House. At any rate, after she, called us a basket of deplorables and said that we needed to be deprogrammed, and also was on record saying that we were irredeemable. Like, these people are like, they're gone, you guys. You got Sonny saying it's unforgivable if you vote for Trump. You got Clinton calling us deplorables and saying we were irredeemable. And then they wonder why the American people were not in support of them. But here's President Trump, his response to the wildebeest calling his supporters deplorable.
Our support comes from every part of America and every walk of life.
And before I let him finish, exactly right. Trump has gay people that vote for him. Trump has black people, black conservatives, black hood people. Trump had old, young people, Trump had a variety of people that were in support of him. Okay, so they try to separate us by race and sex and this and that, but we're looking at policies. We're looking at for who's doing working on the best interest for America. And when we saw the Democrat Party not stand when President Trump asked for all of them during his State of the Union speech that agreed with his statement to stand, saying that the first duty of the American government is to protect the American citizens over illegal immigrants, and no Democrats, the whole Democrat side stayed seated. That's all we needed to know. That's what we go by. We don't go by memes. We don't go by personality. We don't go by all that other that irrelevant bullshit. We're looking at policies. We're looking at how is it that a woman like Hillary Clinton could be in office for 30, 40 years claiming to want to work on behalf of America. Like, if you ain't did it by now, it ain't going to be done by the likes of you. Let me let him continue.
Board of cops and soldiers, carpenters and welders, the young and the old, and millions of working class families who just want a better future.
That's it.
And a good job.
And to stop being ripped off by corrupt politicians.
Hillary Clinton so viciously demonized. These were among the countless Americans that Hillary Clinton called deplorable, irredeemable, and un-American. She called them racist,
make America great again, but we're un-American. I mean, the insanity of these people, you guys. Calling it make America great again, extremist, fascist, a dictator. But who wouldn't want to make America great again?
Xenophobic, Islamophobic. She called half of our supporters a basket of deplorables in both a speech and an interview. She divides people into baskets as though they were objects, not human beings. After months of hiding from the press, Hillary Clinton has revealed her true thoughts. That was her true thoughts.
Yes.
She revealed herself to be a person who looks down on the proud citizens of our country as subjects.
No respect.
For her rule. She views it as her rule.
Yep.
The disdain that Hillary Clinton expressed toward millions of decent Americans disqualifies her from public service.
And that's exactly what happened. We disqualified her ass from public service. We deactivated her broomstick. That's exactly what happened. You're going to come out boldly like that and make statements like that and think that you have a chance with us, girl? Please, bye. Let's look at some of the comments. Trump for life. Hillary just had her milt 47% moment and just blew the elections. Proud to be a deplorable. Stop whining, get over it. How much of your support needed a dictionary before they had their opinions given to them? Whatever. At any rate, you guys, yeah, that was just crazy of her to come out and publicly state that when voters don't agree with your political views, instead of just agreeing to disagree, they resort to name calling. And now they have their base doing the same thing. I swear I get so many comments, not trying to get an understanding of why, we have the stance that we have or we believe the way we believe, instead of trying to come out with facts to enlighten us on why we should be for that party. The only thing they can do is throw insults. That's all they have is insults. And you will never get anywhere with insults. Well, let me not say that because, they say President Trump, ran off of insulting people. But I would say he was just calling them out to their face. Straight up, no chaser. Okay, not the typical politician that comes out talking poised and dignified and, behind the scenes writing stuff into law that are corrupt and not beneficial for the people that they are supposed to be representing. How is it that many of them go into office, with 100, 200,000 yearly salary and come out millionaires? We have a president here that was a billionaire before he entered office and did not take the presidential salary, donates it to charity. And people like to say, well, he's making money off the office of the president. Okay, everyone that goes into the office is going to make some form of money. But at the same time, how is it that after his first term, his net worth dropped? He was actually worth less serving the people than he was before he served, unlike many of the politicians that have gone in and have been in office for 30, 40 years before he even came along, that are now worth 100, 200, and probably more millions of dollars. So yeah, these people they have raped us financially, economically, in every way imaginable. And more on Hillary Clinton. This is a little clip of her and her Epstein Island loving husband years ago on 60 Minutes. And let's just watch it.
It's into the interview. The lights were hot, the lights were heavy, and the whole light bar came crashing down with all the lights on it on the back of the couch.
Mary and Joseph.
Well, at the time, I thought, there's a woman that doesn't swear. Because if foul language was going to come out of her mouth, it would have come out of her mouth right then.
I got over there pretty fast. Tried to make sure they were okay.
All right.
It was a scary
It
incident.
was very scary.
People said that was the only time they ever saw them hug each other, Bill and Hillary. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And some people say that was the light that almost, could have saved over, 50 people that committed suicide that were reportedly associated with them. Some people say the light fixture was later found dead in the alley with 15 gunshot wounds in the back. The police labeled it a suicide. It's not funny, you guys, but yeah, there were actually people that were connected to the Clintons, several people that were connected to the Clintons that turned out dead by suicide. And it was from some unusual circumstances like this one, shooting themselves in the back. Like things that is kind of like impossible to do. Like hanging yourself and then after hanging yourself, shooting yourself in the back. Like just weird stuff like that. Someone says even the lamp couldn't take the lies. Somebody said Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. She called on the whole squad. I'm surprised she even knows the name. Those old lights would be hotter than an urn. People don't understand. Usually you have to let them cool off for over 10 minutes. But yeah, you guys, it's just so rich that these people over the years have grifted off of the system. And then when you don't agree with them, they resort to insults. And that's the reason why President Trump won in a landslide. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comment section, and I'll see you later.